Hi, I'm Maggie. Welcome to Experiments in Crafting. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the interlocking shell stitch. The interlocking shell stitch works up into a really nice dense fabric with very few holes, and it has kind of a nice ripply texture to it. I've been working up a baby blanket in Premier DK colors using a G or 4mm hook. You can use any yarn that you like and any hook that goes with that yarn for this stitch. However, I would stay away from yarns with a whole lot of halo or fuzz because they're going to obscure the pattern. I'd also probably stay away from really heavy yarns like a number 6 or 7 bulky or jumbo weight yarn because I don't think they're going to be pleasant to work this stitch up with. To do this tutorial, you only need to know how to single crochet and double crochet. There is a technique in here where you're going to need to do something a little bit trickier with your double crochets, but as long as you can double crochet, you can do this. I'm working up a baby blanket with this stitch pattern, but you can work up any project you like just by varying the amount of starting chains. For this baby blanket, I chained 128, which gave me a piece that's about 26 inches wide. You can use any multiple of 6 plus 2 to start your project. For this tutorial, I'm going to be chaining 32. Which is 6 times 5 plus 2. Once you have your chain row done, you're going to skip the first stitch and work 31 single crochets into the chain. To begin my next row, I'm going to do a standing double crochet, but you can also do a chain 3 instead. Then you should work 2 additional double crochets into the first stitch. This gives you sort of a little fan on the edge. It's going to be half of a shell to make the edge of your pattern. Skip 2 single crochets and single crochet into the next stitch. Skip 2 more single crochets and then double crochet 5 into the next stitch. This will give you a nice big shell. And all those double crochets all go into the same stitch. There's 3. And there's 5. Skip 2 more single crochets and don't forget to count the one that's sort of hiding underneath the shell. It can sort of get obscured because the shell takes up so much room. So we're going to skip 2 single crochets and single crochet into the third stitch. Skip 2 more and make another shell. So that's 5 double crochets into this third stitch from where you're currently at. Okay. Skip another 2 single crochets, single crochet into the third stitch, skip another 2, and shell into the third stitch. And again, the shells are 5 double crochets. Skip 2 single crochets, single crochet into the third stitch, skip 2 single crochets, and shell into the 3rd stitch. Skip 2 single crochets, single crochet into the 3rd stitch, skip 2 single crochets, and then we're at our last single crochet, and so I'm just going to put 3 into here, just like we did at the very beginning. And that's sort of half a shell to make the edges flat on the project. All right, and so we have our first row of shells, and we're going to work the next row. All right, I'm ready to turn, so I'm going to chain 1, turn my project towards me, single crochet into the 1st stitch, then chain 2, and now I need to make a double crochet 5 together, which is similar to a double crochet decrease, but we're going to use more stitches. If you haven't worked this type of stitch before, it is not very difficult at all, so just follow along and I'm positive you'll be able to get it. What we're going to do is yarn over, insert your hook into the 1st double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And that leaves 2 loops on your hook. And we're going to keep working our decrease stitch here. So I'm going to yarn over again, insert my hook into the next double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. And now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over again, insert my hook into the single crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, draw through 2. Now I've got 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, insert my hook into the 4th stitch, which is a double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. Now I've got 5 loops on my hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the 5th stitch, which is a double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. And now I have 6 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, and I need to draw through all of the loops on my hook. You can do this one at a time and go nice and slow, or you can just pull straight through, whichever works for you. Now you need to chain 2 and single crochet into the middle double crochet on this shell. So insert your hook, drop a loop, and draw through both. And we're going to repeat that over. So I'm ready to make my next decrease stitch. This stitch is, you can see here, is making sort of an upside down shell, and that's what makes the interlocking pattern. So I'm going to chain 2, yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch, which is a double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2, yarn over, insert my hook into the single crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. Again, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the 4th stitch, which is a double crochet, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2, yarn over, and insert my hook into the 5th stitch, drop a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. And again, I have 6 loops on my hook, 2, 4, 6. I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull this straight through all of my loops. And that completes the next double crochet 5 together, or the upside down shell for this interlocking shell stitch. Then you need to chain 2, single crochet into the middle stitch on the shell from the lower row, chain 2 again, and make another interlocking stitch. So really what you're doing here is you're making the bottom half of 5 double crochets by yarning over and inserting, drawing up, and only drawing through 2. You're not completing those double crochet stitches. And so you do 5 of those, and then you yarn over and you make the top of all 5 of them in one shot. And so that's what gives you this sort of upside down shell shape that really gives this pattern a really cool texture. So again, chain 2 to finish that stitch off, then a single crochet, another chain 2, and then another double crochet 5 together, or the upside down shell. I think this pattern goes really fast because of these double crochet 5 togethers go really quickly once you get the hang of them. And you just sort of fly down this row. Okay, I'm making my last upside down shell or double crochet 5 together. Okay. And then don't forget, so I've got the last double crochet here. Don't forget to chain 2 at the end and then single crochet. If you miss the chain 2, you're going to bunch your pattern up on the edges and it's not going to look right. Okay. So that finishes the second row of this interlocking shell stitch. To start the next row, I'm going to make a standing double crochet or chainless double crochet. You can also chain 3 in this spot. Then go ahead and put 2 more double crochets into the first stitch. And that gives you your half shell. Then you need to single crochet into the top of the double crochet 5 together, or this upside down shell. So you're going to skip both of the chains and single crochet into that stitch. Next, we're going to skip the 2 chains and work into the single crochet. We're going to put 5 double crochets or a shell into that stitch. Skip the 2 chains and put a single crochet into the top of the double crochet 5 together. Skip 2 chains and put a shell into the next single crochet. And this is very, very similar to that first row, but this time we're just skipping over chains instead of skipping over single crochets. Skip the chains, insert your hook into the top of the double crochet 5 and make a single crochet. Skip the chains and work a shell or 5 double crochets into the single crochet. Single crochet into the top of the double crochet 5 together, make a shell or 5 double crochets into the single crochet. last single crochet into the top of that double crochet 5, and then into the single crochet on the end you're just going to put 3 double crochets because it's the edge and you're only working half of a shell. Okay, and that finishes the 3rd row. For the rest of this pattern, you're just going to repeat rows of shells and then rows of upside down shells, or the rows with the double crochet 5 together. And when you're ready to end the pattern, you should end on a row that has double crochet 5 together. I've worked up another row of double crochet 5 together, and we're going to pretend that this is the edge of my project. When you've reached the end of your project, however long or however big you want it to be, you should chain 1, turn your project, and then single crochet into each stitch. So you can put 1 into the first single crochet here, and then single crochet 2 into the chain spaces, 1 into the top of the double crochet 5 together, or the upside down shell, 2 more into the chain spaces, 1 into the single crochet, and then just repeat that all the way down the row, putting 2 single crochets into the chain spaces and 1 into the top of every double crochet 5 together and every single crochet. And this will just give a nice even straight border on the top that you can then work your border row into if you're going to be doing that, or you can just finish off your project, say if this was for a long scarf or something like that. It gives you a nice spot to put in something like fringe, if you want to do that, or like I said, you can work your border into a nice clean edge. You just work your way down and finish it off with single crochet, and this gives you a good mirror to the beginning of the project, which we started with a row of single crochet. Okay, and that just finishes off my project. That's all there is to the interlocking shell stitch. If you use this stitch tutorial to make a project, share those with me on Facebook or Instagram at Experiments in Crafting. If you have any questions about this tutorial, leave those in the comment section below and I'll see what I can do to help you out. If you like this video, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.